Welcome to Kickoff Chronicles. If you're passionate about football, this is the perfect channel for you. Here, we bring you the latest news, in-depth analysis, transfer updates, controversies, and everything happening behind the scenes of the world's most beloved sport. Whether it's the Premier League, Champions League, or national teams, we've got you covered. It's time for Manchester United to use Chido Obi, the young goal machine who can save the team from crisis and put pressure on Rasmus Højlund. The 17-year-old had just 4 minutes against Tottenham but deserves more chances to shake up the struggling Red Devils. Ruben Amorim is not one to hesitate when making substitutions during a match, whether it's pulling Joshua Zirkzee off after 33 minutes against Newcastle or making 9 changes at halftime in his 21 games in charge of Manchester United. Yet, as he watched his team suffer their 8th defeat under his management against Tottenham on Sunday, 16, the coach didn't look to his bench until the 89th minute, when he handed 17-year-old Chido Obi his debut. There was a good reason for the Portuguese manager's inaction. United's sudden injury crisis meant that 8 of his 9 substitutes had no first-team experience. The only seasoned player was Victor Lindelof, returning from a long injury layoff and hardly the game-changer United needed as they chased an equalizer. Obi had less than 4 minutes to make an impact against Spurs and, perhaps unsurprisingly, didn't touch the ball. His debut merely secured him a place in the record books as United's third-youngest Premier League debutant and gave him a brief taste of playing in front of 60,000 fans and millions more on TV. But the fact that Amorim turned to Obi highlights the teenager's potential and the club's trust in him. With United desperately lacking solutions, perhaps it's time for the Portuguese manager to unleash the young goalscorer to give the team the jolt it so badly needs. An impressive goal-scoring record. United fans on social media have been clamoring for Obi's inclusion in the first team, driven by his incredible performances at youth level. His highlights began even during his time at Arsenal, when he netted 7 goals in a single match last season against Norwich City's U18s. However, that wasn't even his most remarkable feat. He had previously scored a staggering 10 goals in a U16 match against Liverpool. The Danish forward, who moved to England at the age of 13, has continued to shine since leaving Arsenal, where he scored 32 goals in 18 U18 matches last season, to join United in 2024. On his debut for the Red Devils, he bagged a hat-trick in just 15 minutes against Nottingham Forest and quickly became the all-time top scorer in that category of the Premier League. Obi has also been instrumental in United's FA Youth Cup campaign, scoring twice against Coventry and Preston before netting a hat-trick in last week's 5-1 thrashing of Chelsea. Throwing caution to the wind. Obi had only started training with the first team in the same week he scored a hat-trick against Chelsea, although Amorim emphasized that this was due to the squad's injury troubles. There weren't many signs that the youngster would make his debut against Tottenham, especially when the manager stated, "I don't want to mention names. We have to be careful with that. We had some issues this week, so we called up some young players to train with us. He is one of them." Amorim was also cautious when discussing the teenager ahead of the recent FA Cup tie against Leicester City, simply saying, "He's doing his job. He's developing and playing in the youth teams. We'll see at the end of the season." However, the Portuguese coach changed his mind when he turned to the young striker against Tottenham, hoping his quick reactions inside the box would help United find an equalizer. If you watch Chido play, you'll see that he's very intelligent with every loose ball in the box, so I wanted another player in there, Amorim explained. But I felt the team was playing well throughout the game, so I didn't need to make changes. Chido was the player who, with one long ball, could make a difference. Nothing to lose. Coming off the bench for less than 4 minutes, away from home, in a desperate and confidence-lacking team was undoubtedly a tough ask for Obi. However, he will have more chances to showcase his talent, especially since United's league campaign is likely to lose any practical meaning. The Red Devils have 13 Premier League matches remaining, with their only realistic goal being to avoid their worst finish since placing 13th in the 1989-90 season. The loss to Tottenham dropped Amorim's side to 15th in the table, and while jokes about relegation persist, the idea remains unthinkable. They are still 12 points clear of 18th-placed Ipswich Town. At worst, United could finish 16th, while a top-half finish seems like a long shot, as they trail 10th-placed Brighton by 8 points. Ultimately, United have nothing to lose by giving Obi more opportunities in attack for the rest of the season. But they have a lot to gain. The Rashford precedent. Obi's opportunity with the first team bears some resemblance to the circumstances that led to Marcus Rashford's meteoric rise in 2016. Back then, Rashford wasn't generating the same hype as Obi when he was unexpectedly called up for the second leg of a Europa League tie against Midtjylland after Wayne Rooney got injured and Anthony Martial pulled up in the warm-up. Furthermore, several United players could benefit from Obi's presence on the pitch, none more than Rasmus Højlund. The Danish forward has endured a tough season, scoring just 2 league goals despite being the squad's only natural number 9. Joshua Zirkzee, meanwhile, is far more suited to linking play than finishing chances. Højlund has started 8 of United's 13 Premier League matches under Amram, but his lackluster contributions became even more apparent last weekend when Omar Marmush, Manchester City's new signing, scored more goals in the first 33 minutes against Newcastle than Højlund has all season. Bruno Fernandes would also benefit from having more attacking energy around him. The injury to Ahmad and Marcus Rashford's loan move to Aston Villa have left the Portuguese midfielder as United's only player with more than 3 Premier League goals this season, and 3 of his 5 strikes have come from penalties. United are, quite simply, crying out for goals. And who better to help than a youngster who once scored 10 in a single match? Don't miss out. Subscribe to Kickoff Chronicles, turn on notifications, and follow us to stay updated on all the action. Let's experience the excitement of football together.